In this video, I will show you how you can make your own DIY compost bin. I'll explain everything step by step, and the best of all, it's going to cost you absolutely nothing. So stick around to the end of the video so I can show you how to make a DIY compost bin. To start off with the project, you will need 2 plastic bins, fresh ground, and some earthworms. Believe it or not, but that's the 3 items you will need to start a compost bin.
The first step is to take your plastic container and drill a few holes. You could drill your holes however you would like, but I'll show you how I drilled my holes.
Just to quickly show you how I drilled my holes, I drilled about 8 holes, just enough to make the water go through to the second level. Now you can add your fresh ground to your compost bin. It's very important to keep in mind that you have to use the right soil for your compost bin. A very common easy way to tell if you are using the correct soil. Take your soil and pinch it against your fingers. If it feels like sand, then it's not the right texture. It should feel more ground. It should almost feel like a potting soil mixture. After you put your soil into your compost bin, you can now take your soil and you can spread it out evenly into your compost bin. You drill your holes into the compost bin and you added your fresh ground. Now it's time for step 3. Take your food scraps and start cutting your food scraps into small pieces. It's very important to keep in mind that you have to cut your food scraps into tiny pieces. It helps for the food scraps to biodegrade very much faster, and it's also much easier for your worms to eat your food scraps if it's cut into small pieces. This is a very important step into making compost. When you are done cutting your food scraps, it should basically look something like this. Take your food scraps that you just cut into small pieces and add it to your compost bin. Try to put all your food scraps inside the ground. Step 4 is to add your worms to your compost bin. The reason you should have 2 plastic bins for your compost is because your first bin has holes and your second bin is solid. So what happens is when you add water to your compost bin, the water will go down to your last bin. The water that collects at your last bin is commonly known as liquid gold, also commonly known as liquid fertilizer. Step 5 is to add water to your compost bin. The second layer is basically what I told you guys about the liquid gold, also commonly known as liquid fertilizer. That's why the second level is very important for your compost bin. I usually take my liquid fertilizer and I add it into a smaller bottle just for more conveniency. This is the best liquid fertilizer you can possibly use for your plants. We finished the compost bin and now it's all just the waiting process for all that scrap food to decompose. I'll see you guys when the compost has decomposed. The time we've all been waiting for, the end result. It's been 2 months later now and it's time to show you guys the results. Let's look how our compost turned out. That's amazing. I'm really happy with the results. Some of you might ask, now Nate, how do I maintain my compost bin? Just make sure you give your compost bin water once a week and always make sure your compost bin doesn't get too wet, otherwise your worms will die. As basic and easy as that. It's maintenance free, all you need to do is just add water. That's everything you need to know, step by step, how to make your own compost bin. Stop throwing away your food scraps and rather use it for something good. No need to buy compost anymore, and also no need to throw your food scraps away. If you have a rain catcher, try to give your earthworms and your compost rainwater. Naturally, rainwater is an amazing fertilizer. By adding rainwater to your compost, it just makes your compost 2 times better than it already was. If you haven't watched my previous content before, what are you waiting for? I post content planting vegetables, tips and tricks how to grow your vegetables, and I also post videos where I embark on my wild adventures. I want you to join me on those adventures. I want to take you with me so you can experience everything that I experience. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me grow this channel and let's grow together.